or grow your digital business? Find a central location where talents converge. Get easy access to regional markets. Operate in a conducive business environment, supported by robust digital infrastructure and business-friendly government policies. Enjoy high quality of life at lower costs in one of Asia's friendliest cities. Follow your heart to Malaysia, the heart of digital ASEAN. Malaysia is committed to support digital investments as well as to develop, attract and retain world-class talent to power digital businesses in the country. We're among the first countries in Asia to deploy 5G network technology, the next-gen communications platform that offers increased bandwidth at much faster speeds. We also formulated the National Fiberization and Connectivity Plan to improve broadband quality and coverage, as well as reduce prices to ensure no community is left behind when it comes to high-speed broadband access. To support Malaysia's ambition in becoming a digital powerhouse, we have introduced new digital-first policies that drive investments into Malaysia's robust as well as versatile digital and tech ecosystems while reinforcing the foundations that are already in place. Malaysia offers a fertile environment to accelerate and promote sustainable growth for the nation's digital economy. Businesses, big and small, are supported with a wide range of incentives and development programs to grow startups, digitalize SMEs, and globalize scale-ups. To nurture and build a digitally skilled workforce, MDEC also created a holistic talent development ecosystem with action plans such as nurturing digital skills at the school level through K-12 digital tech programs, partnering higher education institutions to develop a future-ready workforce, upskilling the existing workforce to equip them for the digital economy, easing the work visa process via a green lane facility for key digital talents in emerging technologies, designing the digital talent development strategy framework to address the growing demand for a digital-savvy workforce. All these efforts contribute to Malaysia ranking second in Southeast Asia in terms of future readiness for the IND World Digital Competitiveness Ranking 2019. With half of Malaysia's population below 30 years old, we are in a great position to support businesses with highly skilled and unique talents who are young, digitally savvy and mobile. Growing up in multicultural and multilingual communities makes them highly adaptable to any business environment, be it in startups or established multinational corporations. These are the people who make up the heart of digital ASEAN. Are you ready to follow your heart to Malaysia?
Good afternoon to all of you, my fellow entrepreneurs. Welcome to Gain Series MCCI MDEC event, a joint virtual forum entitled Doing Business in the Philippines, Thrive, Survive, and Succeed. This afternoon is going to be an intimate afternoon full of knowledge and opportunities between our members here in the Philippines and in Malaysia, and of course, with our guest speakers. But before we start, we just wanted to inform everyone of some house rules. We would like to request everyone to put your mic on a mute mode, especially during the talk of our speakers, so that unnecessary noise will be avoided. And of course, we also wanted you to put on your camera when we are going to have Q&A. All right, now, to officially open this event, we would like to request the newly appointed president, Mr. Hao Han Hui, to officially open the forum. Mr. Hao, please take it away.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hao. It's glad to be given a chance today to represent Malaysia Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Philippines for today's forums. First of all, I want to thank for the Chamber Trades Committee, Mr. Nino and the VP, Mr. Eric, initiate this forum, and the Vice Chair of MCCI Trade Committee, Ms. Christy, support to be our moderator for today's program. And very importantly, our special speaker today, Ms. Long Pineda, the country president of Tonik Bank, and Ms. Maria Teresa from DTI, Department of Trades, and our joint partner for today's forum, MDEC. Welcome, everyone. MCCI Malaysia Chamber consists of many companies who is doing business in Philippines and also companies who intend to build and develop the business in this upcoming developing country, Philippines. Our chamber mission is to push the successful deal through leveraging the experience, the networking of acceding corporate members, bridging the business opportunity between two nations to encourage trade between Philippines and Malaysia. And we know in reality, there's always challenges to do business, especially in this current COVID pandemic situation. Many businesses have been affected. That's the reason we come out with the program today, Doing Business in the Philippines, Drive, Survive, and Succeed. We face a lot of challenges to form a new business outside a country which we are not familiar with. There is a difference in cultures, like different language, dialect, different business model, especially business approach, different way of communication, like we use WhatsApp in Malaysia, here we use Viber in Philippines, and a lot of different in understanding. And one of the key, I think, is the different networks. We need to look for a local network and who have experience, know-how in this country, especially when we are transferring our Malaysia business model to a new developing country in Philippines. We need a lot of support. Support like good recommendation, suggestions, where to set office, who to look for, how to get the arrangement. A strong support, a backup support from someone who share common goals, same interests, and with experience will help us to drive through this business, especially in this tough time. NCCI serves as a platform who work closely together with Malaysian Embassy here, Trade Malaysia in Philippines, DTI, Department of Trades, financial institution like Tonik Bank, and we have group of honorary board advisor like Peter Wallace Business Forums, like Ani Pillai, like from Paddy Schubert, and we also tie up with other business chamber like Taiwan Chamber, Indian Chamber, Singapore Chamber, and association like Philippines Marketing Associations, which Miss Christy, our today moderator, is the director of Philippine Marketing Association, and also the BNI networks, like a very big business group in Philippines. So, and we have a very good members together with the chamber, like Maybank, Petronas, CIMB, Berjayas, Mazda, Tusi, and company like us, Nero Ceramic, a ceramic tiles producer from Malaysia. I believe if we can gather more closely together, unify our strength, it will help us to reach more good opportunity. Definitely, we can have a strong presence for our business in Philippines. Lastly, thank you for all of you for attendance for today, and we shall definitely keep in touch more after the forums. Thank you. Thank you, Christy.
Thank you very much, Hao. Very short, but very encouraging. All right, now we would like to welcome and ask for a message from our MDEC representative or from Malaysia. We would like to ask for Mom or Miss Shahida Binti Ismail from Malaysian Digital Economic Companies from KL. Ma'am Shahida, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully, everyone is all right and staying safe. I am Shahida representing MDEC, and we would like to say thank you to MCCI for inviting us for this session today. And we hope I hope I will be able to present what MDEC does and how we could further assist and facilitate the company, especially Malaysian company coming into Philippines. So MDEC was established in 1996, and we are the agency under the Ministry of Communication and Multimedia Malaysia, and about 25 years track record, and we have successfully leading the ICT industry in Malaysia, starting with the MSC Malaysia initiative, which I'm quite sure many businesses are familiar with that MSC Malaysia initiative. And now we hope to further lead Malaysia into the digital economy era. So in MDEC, we have 3 strategic thrusts as what presented in the video earlier. So the 3 strategic thrusts is one, making sure Malaysians are digitally skilled. Number 2, powering Malaysia businesses with digital, and number 3 is getting the right technology, digital investment into Malaysia. For this particular session that we're having, so it is part under strategic thrust number 2, which is globalizing Malaysia businesses, which is providing the right access for Malaysian companies to go into other countries. Zooming in into the specific things that our team do, which the team that I am presenting, which is the Global Accelerator team. So our division focus on providing and facilitating market access to new and existing country ecosystem. For example, for the companies.
Zoom link. I send you the Zoom link.
Right. So this initiative focus has started in 2015, whereby since then there are about nearly 100 tech companies which have participated in GAIN market access programs overseas. And as a result, collectively, we have able to assist and make the company generate about USD 1 billion revenue for the last 5 years. To share some of the statistics and reports, so since January until April 2021, we have assisted and facilitated about 50 plus quality business matching session, which translated into estimated business opportunity worth USD 7.4 million. And this business matching has been conducted for Bangladesh, Philippines, Indonesia, as well as Taiwan. Okay. So far, based on our tracking, for the company that we have assisted, there are about 5 to 6 Malaysian companies which are well established in Philippines, with about 20 ongoing businesses and contracts. So among the technology focus of these companies in Philippines are within the BFSI and the industry, human resource, e-commerce, marketing, as well as healthcare. So, so apart from business matching, we also conducted like awareness program, something similar to session like this, as well as mentoring and coaching, covering business and soft skill. So I hope my explanation is understandable, and hopefully everyone will be will gain benefit from today's session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Shahida. Now we would like to hear the local representative of MDEC in the Philippines. May I call on Mr. Nino Duque to explain to us or briefly give us what to expect and how the program will go for this afternoon. Okay, Nino, please take the center stage. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christy, for your introductions. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us in this afternoon's event. Pretty much everything has been explained to you by the representative of MDEC, Shahida, which is based in Malaysia, as well as a very insightful explanation of who and what MCCI is. So again, this event, aptly called GAIN Series MCCI/MDEC, joint online or virtual forum, is a yearly activity between MCCI, the chamber, and MDEC, as MDEC is a corporate member of the chamber. So as mentioned by both representatives of each organization, both the chamber and MDEC espouses networking, espouses trade, and of course promotes both organizations would want, or the goal is to promote their members and the companies under them. Well, as I'd like to explain further, but again, it was already very much clearly explained by both representatives. This afternoon is an event wherein we will be listening to the industry leaders in the Philippines. One who represents a neobank, a new player in the Philippines, and of course, another guest who will be discussing about opportunities of foreign businesses who would like to do business here in the Philippines in the guise of the Department of Trade and Industry, which is a government agency and is a partner of the chamber. Again, another speaker will also be talking about doing business in the Philippines. He is our vice president here in the chamber, long staying Malaysian in the Philippines. I guess he's more Filipino than a Malaysian. You'll be able to pick up experience and knowledge from him later. I'm very excited to be in this event. Again, thank you very much, guys. All said and done. Good luck to everyone, and hopefully later everyone will be able to join in the Q&A. And of course, by the end of the session, the Secretariat of the Chamber will reach out to everyone so that each one will have an opportunity to reach out and do business with each other in both organizations. Thank you very much, and good day.
Thank you very much, Nino. Before we proceed, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of our immediate past president, who is now the president emeritus. I hope I mentioned that quite clearly. It's Mr. Edward Lee, and also I also understand that Mr. Gopi Ganisalingam, the Vice President for Global Growth Acceleration of MDEC, is also here with us. And now, And now, I'd like to call on our first speaker. I am so honored and humbled to introduce our first speaker. You know, I went over her qualification, her resume. My gosh, I'm so humbled. And I don't think 1.5 hours to mention all those achievements will not be enough. So we just pick a few. All right. So we decided just a few lines. Our first speaker is a lady who is an experienced international consultant on banking, microfinance, and financial inclusion. She is also an experienced senior banker, former president, chief executive officer of a microfinance bank, with in-depth experience in thrift, digital, and rural banking, microfinance, and financial inclusion, both in the Philippines and abroad. She is expert in the design and conduct of banking and credit-related training, both face-to-face and through e-learning platforms. Well-versed in banking regulations and compliance, also both here in the Philippines and India. She also worked, well, aside from the countries, the Philippines, she also worked in Bolivia, India, Peru as part of ACCION or Action. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please join me in welcoming Ms. Maria Lourdes Long Pineda, the President of Tonik Bank, Philippines.
Thank you very much, Christy. And thank you very much to all the participants today. It's a pleasure and it's an honor to be here with you today to share the journey of Tonik Digital Bank. So let me share with you my presentation, and please just let me know if you already see it on your screens. Okay, Tonik Bank is the first neobank in the Philippines, meaning it's the first bank to actually operate from a purely digital platform. So let me share with you our journey, and that's why my subtitle here, it's Banking in the Time of Corona, because we launched Tonik Bank in the middle of this big pandemic that's affecting the entire world. So we are the first neobank in the Philippines, in Southeast Asia as well, that operates on a purely digital platform, meaning we don't have physical branches or offices. Our branch is actually the mobile phone where you have our digital app. We are based out of Singapore. Our main holding company is based out of Singapore, and we are one of the best funded fintechs in Southeast Asia right now. As you will see on my screen, we were able to raise for more than $44 million to date. And these are some of the bigger investors that have joined us. The bigger ones here would be like Insignia and Sequoia. They're one of our bigger investors. And when we launched Tonik Digital Bank, the plan actually is to launch several branches or several Tonik banks all over Southeast Asia. But our first launch was really targeted at the Philippines, primarily because the Philippines has the second largest population in Southeast Asia. And a lot of the population is actually digital savvy. However, the penetration of mobile phones and internet is not as good as what you see in Malaysia or in Singapore. And another thing that actually made us decide to start our digital bank foray was because there was, in the Philippines, we had a very good regulator in the name of the Bangko Sentral ng Filipinas, who's very open-minded and very forward-looking. And it was through a very close interaction with the Bangko Sentral that we actually decided that the Philippines was a good place to start our first digital bank. Right now in the Philippines, there are already players that have been doing banking using a digital platform. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you are familiar with CIMB, who comes from Malaysia. We have ING, we also have Union Bank, which is a local bank in the Philippines. But all of these three that I mentioned are what we in Tonik consider as pseudo challengers, primarily because all of these three banks operate with a traditional bank on the back end. So if you look at it, in terms of DNA, a lot of the existing players right now that are doing digital banking actually are traditional banks that have put their products and services on a digital platform. Whereas Tonik, our DNA from the ground up is really digital. And one of the things that we're really looking forward to is we expect to get our digital bank license by next week, which means we will be the first privately owned digital bank in the Philippines. The first digital bank license was actually issued a couple of weeks back. It was issued to a government-owned bank in the Philippines. So let me take you on the journey we took. A lot of people actually think setting up a digital bank is easy, but since it was going to be a first in the Philippines, we initially started with a discussion with the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas back in 2018, when we first broached the idea of setting up a bank on a purely digital platform. We actually worked closely with the regulator, sought their advice on what type of bank or what type of institution should we set up. Should we set up our own bank? Do we partner with an existing bank? Do we acquire another bank? And eventually the decision was made that it made more sense to actually set up our own bank. So 2018, we've been working with the Bangko Sentral since 2018, and we spent literally the entire year of 2019 setting up our digital platform. And this is one thing I'm sure that our colleagues from Malaysia are very familiar with. When you set up a digital platform, it's important that you have the right partners, the right vendors, the right suppliers to ensure that your operation as a digital bank is seamless. So we spent the entire year of 2019 setting up the platform. We got our banking license. We got our banking license from the Bangko Sentral in December of 2019. We were already poised to roll out and launch our bank by June of 2020. Unfortunately, COVID happened right in the middle of the planned launch. So during this period when COVID happened all over the world, the Philippines was literally in a complete lockdown for a period of 4 months. And when the economy actually started opening up slightly, and the regulators such as the Bangko Sentral, the Securities and Exchange Commission, when they eventually started opening up a bit so we could get other regulatory approvals, we actually had to compress into a couple of months, something that we had planned to do over a period of 6 to 8 months. So as soon as the Philippine economy opened slightly in May of 2020, we immediately moved forward in terms of getting other regulatory approvals. And we had to actually set up our office, do construction in a period of roughly around 2 to 3 months, because we wanted to be able to launch Tonik Digital Bank before 2020 ended. So finally, by November of 2020, we actually did a beta launch, which means we launched operations of the bank, but for a closed group, because we wanted to be able to test how our app worked in the real world, in production. And we wanted to make sure that we gave our customers a seamless and worry-free journey as they went digital. And we're happy to also share with everybody that Tonik Digital Bank officially launched to the general public in March of 2021. And we're also quite proud of how we were able to do this, considering that our entire team was in different locations, and it was very difficult to actually get people together to launch this bank, but we did. And it's also noteworthy that in a span of 1 month from the date that we launched, which is specifically March 18, 2021, we were able to raise or mobilize deposits equivalent to $20 million in a span of 1 month. That actually shows you the level of trust that the younger set in the Philippines, the millennials, have actually put in digital. Now, our vision, we do not aim to be the biggest bank in the Philippines. But we would really like to be the top retail bank that's operating on a purely digital platform with its own digital bank license. And as you will see here in the screen, this is one of the screenshots of our app that's available right now. Although initially it's available for Filipinos based in the Philippines. But we do have plans of like opening it up in the future to to foreigners who would like to open accounts. Now, how do we position ourselves? As I mentioned earlier, we do not aim to be the big bank. We position ourselves as the bank where people would like their money to grow. Now, because we are a digital bank, we are not saddled with expensive overhead costs that comes with having physical branches. The cost of operating our bank is actually much lower. So we are able to actually give much higher interest rates to our depositors, primarily because we do have small and lower cost, and the rates that we offer right now to our customers are way, way better than the rates being offered by traditional banks in the Philippines. And because we are very concerned with ensuring that our customers have a good customer experience when they use our mobile app, when they avail of our financial products and services, the way our products are designed is very customer centric. Our financial products are bespoke, which means we actually conduct quite an extensive market research, focus group discussions, just to get a sense of what our customers really need and what they like. And we do have a very, very extensive in-app customer support. As I mentioned to some of the members of MDEC and MCCI earlier, our contact center or call center operates 24/7 by 365. So just to ensure that whenever a customer has any concern or has any questions, there is somebody from Tonik who is always there to answer. So in that sense, we would like Tonik to be the bank in your pocket, because your bank is in your mobile phone. You bring your bank with you wherever you go. So in terms of our organization, we are led by an experienced senior team of ex-bankers, and these are ex-bankers from Eastern Europe, from the Philippines, from the US, from India, who combined have an average age of like 40 and extensive experience in banking. We're happy also to let our friends in this forum know that because we are a bank in the Philippines, we are regulated by the Bangko Sentral ng Filipinas, and deposits in our bank are insured by the Philippine Deposit and Insurance Company. Now, the way we are set up is our primary R&D center is based out of India. We do have a smaller team that's in Singapore that handle IT architecture and other functions. And as of Friday last week, we are more than 200 individuals, 200 employees working for Tonik. Our hubs are in Singapore, Manila, Chennai in India, and Kiev in Ukraine. So in effect, we are actually one Tonik, one team, but we are in 6 different countries and all working together to launch this first neobank in the Philippines operating on a purely digital platform. So this is just a screenshot of the people who are behind Tonik Digital Bank and who between them have more than 30 years of experience in retail and digital banking across global emerging markets. And I'd like to share with you that these are the core values that drive Tonik. And you will notice quite a number of these core values are values that you actually see in a lot of corporates, a lot of banks, but I'd like to share also with you that you will be surprised about some of the values that actually drive Tonik. First, we really value teamwork, particularly because we are unable to meet up together because of this pandemic. Teamwork, even if it's done digitally through Teams or Zoom, this is very important to be able to run a bank the way it should be run and run it properly. We also value reliability, which means the people who work with Tonik need to be self-starters. They need to be able to deliver what they say they will. And of course, because we're a bank, honesty is a core value. Now, here are the next two values that may be rather unusual for corporate. One of the values we have is street smart. You need to be able to understand your customer. You need to employ street smarts, which means you need to have a feel for what is happening on the ground and what your customers require. Therefore, it cannot be company or bank driven. It has to be customer driven. So we need to listen. And because we operate in a digital space and under very challenging conditions right now because of the pandemic, it's very important that we all have a sense of humor to be able to tide us over during stressful times. Now, as you will see, these are all caricatures. Usually in most corporates or banks, you would have a very formal shot of the top management of the bank. But here we decided, no, we take our work very seriously, but we don't take ourselves very seriously. So what you have here are caricatures of the top management of Tonik Digital Bank, as well as our holding company in Singapore, Tonik Financial. And these are the values that drive us. These are the values that we know will bring us forward into building a legend, not only in the Philippines, but hopefully in other countries like probably Cambodia, Vietnam, and maybe even in Malaysia. So thank you very much, and it was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Pineda. We would like to request you to stay on for Q&A later. Now, we would like to call on our very own Vice President, Mr. Eric Young, to tell us about how does doing business in the Philippines is. What are the do's, what are the don'ts? So, being here for 20 plus years, legally, Eric has so much experience to share with us. Eric, may I request you to, thank you. Oops, Eric, would you mind putting on your microphone or your headset, earplug, so we can hear you? Okay, since the Vice President is having some difficulties, I think he's going to shift from the computer to a mobile gadget. So let us know when ready. But in the meantime, okay.
Welcome in the Philippines. The place, imagine, it's humongous. It's nothing like Malaysia. We have like 7,000 over islands in this country. And therefore, logistics is sometimes a little bit challenging, but the market potential is unbelievable. We are talking about 100 over million population in the Philippines. Now, visualize this. In the Philippines itself, having 100 million population, yes, I know. The unfortunate thing is Philippines have been receiving a lot of flack and a lot of negative news overseas. Some people say it's not safe and all that kind of stuff. Trust us, we have been in the Philippines for decades, all right? Our chairman, Mr. Edward Ling, over, I think, 20 years, myself, over a dozen years, and we don't even feel unsafe in whatever things that we're doing or we walk around freely, okay? And when it comes to the business culture, now this is where it's going to be very different from Malaysia. In Malaysia, we have a lot of Malaysians trying to go out of the country because it's basically getting saturated. Malaysia has a 30 million plus population. Philippines has 100 over million population. Now imagine the class A and class B alone. population of the Philippines, which is what most of you are always forgetting. That will come up to around 30%. That means you have the entire population of Malaysia as your potential market. Now, that is how big the market is. So technically, Philippines is still behind Malaysia in terms of its development, because it's harder to govern a nation that is so scattered with 7,000 islands. All right. But nevertheless, what I will say that there are a couple of P's that's very important. I mentioned you need to know the people, you need to know the place. All right. You need to know the policies. Now, this is where the Malaysia Chamber of Commerce can come in to help you, because there are so many policies in the country, and there are a lot of, unfortunately, bureaucracies and red tapes involved in doing a business in the Philippines, especially when it comes to foreign participation. You know, they've got the red list of what are the businesses that you can and you cannot do. The thing is that to work with the right partners, of course, I'm not being biased, but we're talking about people like the Malaysia Chamber of Commerce, okay? Because what we have done is that we have reached out to all necessary department heads, we call them ministers there, we call them secretaries over here, you know, from DTI, Department of Trade and Industry, to the SEC, you know, the Securities Exchange Commission, to what you call major players, even other chambers, and different, even the Bureau of Immigration, the Bureau of Inland Revenue, you know, we have established a very large network. Why? So that the Malaysian companies that come in and join us at the chamber, we can help them start off and grow their business the right way. And that is so important. Okay. The next, you got to understand that you'll be surprised to know there are many Malaysian companies already in here, you know, and most of them have been very successful. But the one ingredient that every company has to know before coming into the Philippines is that you got to have the patience, because processes here takes longer, not because of COVID, but generally it is longer. Okay, though they have regulations like the anti-red tape law, they have the the ease of doing business what do you call that acts that they calculated, but it still takes time because there's a human factor over here, and we're talking about sometimes long lines. You're talking about sometimes slow processing. You know, what could take weeks, sometimes take weeks or months. All right, so understand this. So for every company, the most important thing that they have to understand is they have to have patience. Fintech, financial technology. You be surprised. You may be surprised to know that many Malaysian technologies have been adopted by the Philippine banks over here. Like, for example, clearing of the check within 24 hours is something that's so common to us in Malaysia. But this was implemented in the Philippines just a couple of years back. All right. Normally, it still takes 3, 4, 5 days clearing time. That technology came from Malaysia. All right. What do you call financial security systems and softwares? Many banks are adopting them, and I know one of them is also a very reputable member of the MDEC Secure Metrics. I'm not sure whether you are here, Mr. Edward Law. Are you here? He's the president of Secure Metrics. Secure Metrics have now served many banks in the country, in the Philippines. Now, when you're moving into understanding the business, okay, a lot of Malaysians believe that what they have practiced in Malaysia successfully will work when they bring it to the Philippines. Understand that the marketing, the culture is totally different. Philippines is a American colonized nation. So they are very, very much into a very, very expressive form of marketing. All right. A lot of endorsements are always needed. whether they get celebrities and all that, they're very celebrity geared. So, and also, even the infrastructure is different. Most of the time, when a company from Malaysia wants to come to the Philippines, they will, of course, do their initial financial planning, their projections. One part which they all miss is always the hidden cost. You have to understand that the cost of operations in the Philippines sometimes is pretty high. In Malaysia, you've got your Tenaga, your electric supply company. Here we have Meralco. Do you know that, for example, your electricity bill is probably 4 to 5 times higher than the bill in Malaysia? So if you are thinking about having a physical setup here, you've got to look into the costing of the utilities, because that is something that most Malaysian companies assume that is more or less, manageable. So the manpower here, though, is cheaper. The cost of operations on the utility side is so much more expensive. The first month that I came to the Philippines, I thought my meter was damaged because I got a bill of almost 700 ringgit electricity bill for a 50 square meter or 500 square feet apartment. So you imagine that. Compare that example to what you have in Malaysia. And I'm sharing all of these because as companies want to come to Malaysia, you have to understand and know, all right, what you are coming in for. Because at the end of the day, the market potential is humongous. But you must have the patience and the sustainability to it. Why MDEC work very closely with MCCI and vice versa is because companies on the ICT front and the digital front have the advantage over here when they're coming to the Philippines, because you may not need to have a big OPEX to keep your business running, because basically you're digital based, just like what Ms. Long Pineda starts, Tonik Bank. It's digital based. So these are things that you have to look into, before you come into the Philippines. And if you have a first mover advantage products that have, or services or solutions that have not yet been introduced to the Philippines, okay? Filipino businesses, they are very, very cautious because they work along in the lines of being comfortable where they are. So if you were to, they are not like Malaysia who jumps on products or services who have first mover advantages. The first thing is you're going to have some time to present, and then it's going to take months, literally, to cascade what you propose to the management, to the department heads, and vice versa, meetings, presentations. But what is most important is this, is they always look for POCs, proof of concept. So you have to ensure that you've got very good corporate clients, known internationally if possible, all right, to be able to show them that this concept has been practiced, successfully done. These are the data of the returns. All of these as a very, very important convincing factor. Next would be, how do you shortcut the system? Okay, in terms of how do you go into the market penetration exercise in a more efficient and smoother way? Work with partners that have clients that are your target market. You could do a JV because it will speed things up, all right? Work with them, support with them, and because they've got a ready corporate base for you to already tap on. Instead of you coming in, initially, and then trying to move around in the markets on your own. That will also help to solidify and kickstart your business, because you already have a partner here that is already serving the corporate clients that you are targeting. Okay, so these are some of the, I don't want to take too much of your time because the next speaker is from Department of Trade and Industry. She's the Chief of the Export Bureau. So you will be able to get more information from the Department of Trade and Industries. But what I want to do is this. After the event, all right, please sign up with us as a Malaysia Chamber member, because our Malaysia Chamber, we are not open only to those Malaysians or companies or Filipino companies in the Philippines. We open the membership to foreign companies, especially to Malaysian companies too. Why? Because we feel that if we have a chamber servicing only the local players and members, all right, it may also defeat the purpose of us having to make it more difficult to bring in foreign players. So foreign players like Malaysian companies wants to come to the Philippines. Philippines has got companies that want to go to Malaysia. That's why we open the membership up for both sides. Okay, we have helped a lot of companies, many companies, all right. But very, very important is this: do take the advice that we provide, all right, and be very patient because it takes time for the gestation processes of incorporating a company, coming to the Philippines, understanding the market, doing the initial presentation, waiting for the feedback, you know, and then before the actual exercise itself. So I thank you for the time given. Sorry, I had to switch to the mobile. Something was wrong with my laptop. I will revert back to the laptop Zoom shortly. Okay? Thank you very much. Christy?
Yes, thank you very much, Eric. Before we move on to the next topic, I just want to acknowledge the presence of some of our partners. Like I saw Mr. Ryan Chan, the head of Global Growth Acceleration of MDEC, who's actually on board, and one of our directors of MCCI, Aslan Nazir. I would also like to acknowledge the companies, Malaysian companies who are here. Natasis, Mr. Hon Ponting. I hope I'm pronouncing your names correctly. And please, if I missed it or I mispronounced it, please forgive me. Mayos, Mr. Hudson Lee, Inside MY, Robin Ho and Justa Tay, Verofax, Captain Ko, and Yvonne. Sounds very familiar, that name. Epitome, Melissa Te, CEO, InfroPro, Michael Yeo, also a CEO, Time Tech, also very familiar, Miss Sarah Chu. And then we also have Macro Kiosk of Rose Michael, the CEO. And we also have Senang Peaks, Sharian Raj, also a CEO. Now, thank you very much. But before we move on to the next topic, we just wanted to acknowledge some of our sponsors. Please, admin, kindly play our sponsors. Thank you.
Christy, you need to unmute. Muted.
Thank you very much. Thank you, our sponsors and partners. This is not possible without your help. Okay. Sorry, I was put mute by the admin. Sorry about that. All right, now our next speaker is actually equally accomplished lady. Okay, let me start introducing her by saying that she currently heads the product and marketing strategy group of the Export Marketing Bureau of DTI Trade Promotion Group. She completed master's in business administration, receiving presidential citation for academic excellence, and has more than a decade of professional experiences and exposure in the local and international engagements relating to trade promotion, negotiation, and strategic development of service industries. A three-time recipient of the Dutch-sponsored scholarship by the Netherlands Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and alumnus of the Shanghai International Institute of Management and the Singapore Cooperation Program. She was honed for years in stakeholders consultation mechanism and trade and service promotion. She has represented the DTI in various specialized courses and fora for promoters of service held in local and international venues. In her current capacity, she manages the EMBs, parang EMBM, various local and foreign strategic programs for the services industries covering IT, BPM, animation, game development, franchising, education, design-driven goods and services, among other things. Additionally, as head of product and market strategy group, she manages the execution of program to develop and promote export of Philippine products. Before joining DTI, she worked under the Plan International, a global nonprofit organization based in Rhode Island, USA, managing Plan's livelihood program for the foster families as a social worker. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Ms. Maria Teresa Loring, Division Chief of Export Marketing Bureau of the Department of Trade and Industry. Ma'am, please take the center stage. Miss Loring, you're muted. Please unmute yourself.
Okay.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. 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 Uh, okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I am tasked to provide you with the DTI, the EMB, services for businessmen. And in that function, I would like to present the outline of presentation, starting off with a call for action on a whole of government approach on digitalization, government ongoing initiatives, the DTI as a branch of government in the whole of nation approach, and specifically the Export Marketing Bureau services for foreign investors and business partners and the way forward. The pronouncement of the president to build trust and confidence in online transactions, especially now in the pandemic period, and to have a stronger protection for online consumers and enabling measures for online businesses is one of the directives to address the need for digital connectivity, internet speed, stability, and affordable internet servicing so that our companies and our prospective investors and our prospective businessmen from local or foreign markets can benefit on having a more comfortable business environment in the Philippines. I must say, and I would like to thank Mr. Eric Yam. Really, the challenge in the Philippines has been the ease of doing business, that you really need to have some kind of patience. But the Philippines has been doing a lot of initiatives so that we can focus on these challenges in the ease of doing business, streamlining of processes, and automation. I will not bore you with the various RA, but these RAs are all geared toward ease of doing business and efficient government service delivery act, streamlining of government services, especially in this time of national emergency, eliminating overregulation to promote efficiency in the government processes, and the creation, this is the first time, the creation of the Office of the Presidential Advisor to really have someone to focus on streamlining government processes. We know that has been the Philippines' challenge for quite a time. And now I am pleased to inform that there is a whole of government approach now. Hopefully, we can work on this as we go along. And this part of the digitalization now, especially that everything now is going online, and we cannot wait for the business to propel. That's why these initiatives are all encompassing both for the government, the businesses, local and foreign, industries, and our human capital. Together with this, we focus on the digitalization of business so that our foreign counterparts, like our Malaysian friends here, would have a very good engagement with their prospective Philippine counterparts, or if they want to engage in the Philippines. In the part of the digitalization of government, we have launched the Central Business Portal, which was launched in January of this year. And this is really to one thing that this made is that it has reduced the time of some processing from over 10 days to 3 to 4 days. Please let us know, because we also have the ARTA law. And in simpler term, the ARTA law, those who are local or foreign investors who have been processing for quite a time and there is some delay, you can always call the attention of our ARTA team so that we can have the processing facilitated also on the mandated time that it has to be processed based on the ARTA law as part of our ongoing initiatives for this challenge. And we also have the Philippine Business Data Bank, where our foreign counterparts, like our Malaysian counterparts who would like to know and verify some of our businesses and companies they want to engage in, they can open this business data bank. Also, in terms of, because of the pandemic, we have pandemic-induced shift to digital payments, and of course, the likes of our Ms. Malu's Tonik Bank, we are very pleased to know that we have that in the Philippines, and that is a very good and amazing idea that we can all do online without the branches. And for the Philippines, we also have through the BSP, our PesoNet, InstaPay, eGovPay for government transactions, and QRPH. We also have Reboot for the DTI itself. We're done with the national government for the DTS and as an agency. We have enabling partners launched in April 2020 during the pandemic. And there is a reboot package which consists of waiving of onboarding fees, discounts from logistics, 3-month internet subscriptions to all our MSMEs and business partners, so that their foreign counterparts, or if they get partners with our foreign counterparts will have no problem engaging with our MSMEs. We also have, for the part of DTI, has lodged the business name registration in 8 minutes. Before, it was over the counter and it takes 3 days. Now, with this online registration, it has gone up from 35% registration online in 2019, now at 68% online payment transactions. We also have various ongoing e-commerce programs to make all our local and foreign counterparts engaged in the Philippines in their businesses to have 24/7 times 365 days online businesses. And under the DTI EMB programs where my bureau is currently, where I'm currently engaged, we have for the export marketing view, the Philippine Export Competitiveness Program, doing business in free trade area, the Ripples Plus, Halal Export Development Program, and the Trade Line. The PECP is our main competitiveness program to provide information to all our business owners and foreign and local counterparts who would like to know about exporting in the Philippines. And even those facilitation and policies that are included, engaged in our partner economies through our ASEAN FTAs and other FTAs. The Ripples is our new brand where we provide all the capacity building, technology, innovation, and other programs to really facilitate business with between and among our local and foreign counterparts, our businessmen. We also have a special regulatory body for the halal export industry development and the Trade Line, which is our online interactive platform for business matching. For the export assistance I mentioned, this is all for export-related matters. Even if you are a new foreign company or a new foreign visitor who would like to have a business visitor who would like to get engaged in this in the Philippines, and you want to know everything about how exporting, where you can contact these people whom you would like to engage in, what product, what services, we have this under the Export Marketing Bureau Export Assistance. And also, if you have some trade complaints in relation to some, let's say, non-payments or breach of contract with some, whether it's for local or foreign, then we have the export trade facilitation handling for complaints. We also have the data gathering and analytics under our knowledge management division in the Export Marketing Bureau. This is directly linked to the Trade Line Philippines. If you check on the Trade Line Philippines, all this analytics and other informations are stored about the Philippine products, services, companies, new models, new partnerships, new products being developed, and opportunities for our foreign and local investors and partners. We have the DTI EMB services where I am directly engaged and which I am currently heading. This is composed of 4 big divisions of the Export Marketing Bureau, which caters to the needs of our foreign buyers, foreign counterparts, foreign investors also, who would like to be provided with inputs also indirectly or directly on their identified products and services. We do the strategy execution like business matching, missions, and other industry development and marketing promotion activities. Additionally, we are the group which provides the trade opportunity requirements, because our embassies, like the DFA in the global community where there is an embassy of the Philippines, and there are also, if you are I guess you are familiar with the commercial posts of the Philippines, the Philippine Trade and Investment Center in various countries, they send us from foreign markets, interested companies who would like to look for partners, products, services from the Philippines. So we are the ones, our people are the ones doing the research, the gathering, and listing of all these companies so that we can verify before we can match it to any foreign counterparts looking for them. That's part to follow are the foreign buyer servicing. We can service you with that. We do market opportunity mapping also, business matching domestic and foreign. It could be incoming and outgoing. Before we do it, outgoing, we do the outbound business mission with business matching physically, but now we can do inward and outward, both virtual, unless it would be safer to do it physical next time. And then under the business matching, I mentioned already, I already mentioned this, the handling of inquiries from international buyers, and part of our initiatives to really move forward on this promotion is really, we have already instituted the virtual business matching, which we started as early as 2019, but most of them in various parts of the globe, we had virtual business matching with our foreign counterparts, as you can see in the map. And I cannot see it. Okay. Okay. And we also shifted to digital export promotion through our various partners. These are the various partners of the Philippines for virtual promotions in various brands, products, and services. And also, given this, we are looking forward to really meeting our Malaysian counterparts here, specifically in this session, and that we will have a productive way forward. And in doing so, we have also considered the imports of Malaysia, specifically in terms of imports of services, which covers transportation, personal travel, business, and computer and construction. And we see it as something that we can really support, because these are also some of the Philippine companies' engagement, and we can support you, our investors, clients, in client servicing, tradistas, utilization of free trade agreements, whichever is relevant, and policy support through our BOI, the Board of Investments, and the trade facilitation, whether how you want us to help you on coming up, and of companies whom you want to meet, and of course, the linking to domestic supply of your needs. And with this, we are doing this, as I mentioned, we have this Ripples Accelerator program that in partnership with our foreign counterparts like Malaysian counterparts, we can both proceed with coming up with new products and services, expansion of new markets, mainstreaming of our products, and thereby getting getting imports and exports exchange in our balance sheet. May I request my colleague, Reese, to please, at this point, I would like to share with you the areas where most of the imports of services is also being engaged by Malaysian, and which can also be a collaborative area for the part of the Philippines. So please show the video, please. Hello, Reese. Hello, Reese. Please show the video, please. This is just 2 minutes. Please kindly.
Everything starts with one, a spark, a word, a pulse, an idea, and innovation. These elements combined create movements around the world that continuously disrupt the way we live, work, learn, and experience. At the heart of disruption is the human touch, the customer experience. And at the heart of customer experience is the multifaceted Filipino talent. Driven, compassionate, world-class, elevating customer experience like never before. This is the story of how Filipino talent built a company, propelled an industry, and lifted a nation. This is the Philippine IT BPM industry. We deliver and fuel the creative, emotive, service-oriented, tech-savvy contact points businesses around the world need to differentiate themselves from their competitors. This special brand of service has made an impact on industries like banking and finance, healthcare, software development, animation, game development, and engineering. Through strong partnerships between the public and private sector and supported by enablers in real estate, telecommunications, and infrastructure, we have created a strong and healthy ecosystem that has pushed the Philippine economy forward, has moved the country's needle, and has contributed vastly in the global economy, creating a multiplier effect like no other. Our top-to-bottom, front-to-back approach, this industry is bustling with energy, servicing all possible points to fuel disruption and sustain its growth. We are moving businesses. We are moving the world. It started with one pulse, one idea, one innovation to make an industry. Today, we are a strong nation with an even greater passion to connect and empower the world. We are the Philippine IT BPM industry. Accelerate Philippines. Future ready for the world.
Thank you. Can you stop share now? Okay. And for the better share. And well, before I end, I would like to provide you with this last slide on the partners of the DTI and important contact information in case our Malaysian partners would like to get into on some of the priority sectors and the associations that you can engage with, and also our government partners, to name some few. And you can always ask us on some other important details. That's all. Terima kasih. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now I would like, we are now officially opening the Q&A portion. We would like to request our guests to please open your camera, turn on your camera so we can see you face to face. In the stage again, we have Ma'am Lourdes Pineda, and then of course Ma'am Tess, and then Edward, because I saw some question about doing business and then the requirements of those that they need to comply with. So, and then of course we would like to ask for MDEC also to be up on the stage, and the MCCI president. So yes, and please, we are now opening the floor for Q&A. But while waiting, I saw, and then of course, sir, you may raise your hand, or you can just, I saw one here to raising hand. So please just raise your hands if you want to ask question. But in the meantime, I will start the first question. It is actually from Sir Soon Jin Chu. What type of industry would the Philippine government is giving priority status to develop? I think our DTI is in the position to answer that. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for your question, sir. Right now, we are in the process of developing the new Philippine Export Development Plan for 2022 to 2027. Currently, and there might be some, based on the statistics export performance, there may be some changes in the prioritization for the new PEDP. However, currently, we are under the current PEDP, the 2017 to 2022, which covers until next year. We have the IT BPM industry, which covers the software development, the animation, the game development sector, the health information management services, the engineering services outsourcing, and of course we have our creative services also, the film and the creative services, as well as that's on the services side. We have on the construction also, and we are finalizing our footprints, our footprints for the engagement as a priority also, our MRO, maintenance, repair, and overhaul related to aerospace. And for the product sector, of course, the coconut industry, the fishery, and also our processed food. And we have a new one, of course, the mango industry. We have that also as one of our best fruits in the Philippines. And among those and some in industrial goods also, and design-driven products. So those are some of the current ones right now.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. And I think there's another question from Mr. Sun Chin Chu. You said they have a representative office in Manila. What are the requirements to be a full-fledged office? I think it's Ma'am Tess from DTI and Eric can answer the question. Please, Eric.
Hello, hello, Chu. Yeah. You see, as a representative office that's fully Malaysian owned, basically your scope of services or your scope of provision would only be to service the existing clients that you have over here in the Philippines, right? Because most of the transactions and sales are done with probably your corporate office in Malaysia. Now, to be a full-fledged a sales office or an operational office in this country, you would have to convert your company, all right, into a fully Malaysian-owned corporation in the Philippines, whereby your paid-up capital would be very, very much higher compared to the paid-up capital requirement as a representative office. Right? If I'm not mistaken, I can't recall. I think it's around $200,000 paid up capital. Now that paid up capital is not locked in. All right. But what you can do is use that paid up capital to also run as the OPEX for your company. So it's just a conversion, an increase of your paid up capital, and then you also would need to provide employment up to a certain percentage of the Filipino employees. So that's how you do it.
All right, ma'am.
Thanks, Eric.
I think I have nothing more to add. Mr. Eric has been very helpful to me on this question. These are all. And I would just like to add that if you are already a full-fledged company here, you can also avail of the incentives given by the Philippine government. And now, but we have a separate session that we give now for the, if you hear about the Create Law, but it's with the Board of Investments. And we have a centralized session for that because that's a new law in the Philippines. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Eric.
I saw.
Miss Teresa, thank you.
Okay.
I
saw Nino raising his hand. Nino Duque. Nino, please.
Yeah, of course. I'd like to know if there are opportunities for partnership, collaborations, or maybe certain requirements from Tonik as, the #1 funded seeded company in Asia means that expansion is, of course, obvious. Being the representative of MDEC here in the Philippines, I do manage and take care certain companies that may be able to help you out in your operations, may it be for HR, for employee monitoring and management, so on and so forth. If there are opportunities to collaborate, ma'am?
Well, because we're just growing, the company is growing, and definitely we will be needing additional technologies as we expand our operations. There might be some partnership possible with some Malaysian companies in the future. I actually spoke to the Asian School of Business in Malaysia, and that's one of the things they were asking me. So yes, although we've been established already, but there's always opportunity for partnership, particularly as we expand our penetration with the Philippine market and eventually Southeast Asia.
It will be interesting to talk to you, Miss Maria, about how to get $200,000 to start my company.
Well, I think it would be good for you to kind of talk to our CEO, who's based out of Singapore, of our holding company. They're the ones who are experts at raising funds and all of this.
We are borrowing funds.
Oh, you're borrowing. Oh, then we could discuss that as well at some future time. We're going to be launching our loans hopefully in the next couple of months. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We have another question for you, Ma'am Long. So, hi, Maria. Is your digital-only bank license to provide FSI in local and cross-border trade, like trade financing, trade insurance? Do you have a full-fledged banking license, or is there any restriction to your license? Are you focused on traditional banking, or are you moving into DEFI?
Okay. Well, yes. First, to answer the question, yes, we have a full-fledged banking license. Once we're getting our digital bank license. Right now, we operate on a rural bank license because in the Philippines, the digital bank license framework was only issued in December of last year. So we are actually one of the first few that will be getting this license. Once we get our digital bank license, we have the facility or we have the capability of doing cross-border. Although at the initial stage, we're focused initially on the Philippines, but there's nothing that will stop us from eventually going cross-border. In fact, there have been a lot of queries already on when we can do cross-border. But that's in the pipeline. That's in the pipeline as well.
Okay. Do we have more questions? Thanks for this insightful and interesting presentation. Sorry. Okay. So, is there any other question that we? Okay, I saw someone raising. Eric, you're raising your hand.
I just want to add something. From all the presenters today, Tonik Bank, I think, Maria, your two key statements that caught me was street smart and humor. I agree that is something that is very, very much needed, in the business industry and the manner of assessment, because understand that Malaysian companies, a lot of them come in with products or services that has first mover advantages. And that is where the biggest challenge comes in when it comes to financial assistance that's required, because there's no local proof of concept done. It'd be great, like for example, just an example of a slip up from the Malaysian side. Grab was or is a Malaysian company. The local parties, financial institutions and all that did not fund Grab. Singapore did. So what happened? The opportunity was lost. So therefore, it's also very, very important for banks like Tonik Bank to look into it from the street smart angle, the humor angle, you know, and I think that look forward to really working with Tonik Bank. That two statements sold me. The
Thank
rest,
you.
not, but that too, you know, was very catchy, you know. And for DTI, you know, I'm glad because it was some time I've not really been in touch. I see that DTI has got so many programs, you know, that are really ready to assist companies to be able to grow business in the various sectors. All right. Just to add a bit to all the Malaysian company listeners, all right, and viewers. Uh, Philippines is like one of the social media capital in the world. All right. So, and therefore, the digital divide is less wide compared to many other countries. And with this as a company under MDEC, I think you would be able to have a very big opportunity to reach out to your potential target market in this country. Work with us, Malaysia Chamber of Commerce. For example, we've got Malaysian companies like Maybank, Berjaya, CIMB. These are all part of our Malaysia Chamber of Commerce Malaysian company members. Okay, and that of course is our corporate member and partner too. Locally, we are working with DTI, with SEC. Even when it comes to the halal, we were the ones who assisted to bring the halal trainer from Malaysia to the Philippines. Because of course our halal in Malaysia is so well developed and internationally recognized. So we help through cross-border also. And you'll be happy to know the people in the Malaysia Chamber of Commerce in the Philippines consist of people who are in various international organizations like Rotaries, the JCs. We've got from BNI, Business Network International, you know. We work with the Philippine Marketing Association here, you know. We work with unbelievable. So I look forward to have all of you join the Malaysia Chamber of Commerce, all right? And so that we can help you, work with you, guide with you, and hopefully be able to contribute to something, a tangible trade between Malaysia and the Philippines. Okay?
Thank you. Well said. Thank you very much, Eric. Okay, for additional, because you know, there's a lot of questions and a lot of information to be discussed. However, we have a very limited time. For more information and additional and inquiries, especially from our Malaysian company partners, please don't forget or do not hesitate email MCCI Secretariat so we can refer or match you to the right company and or match you or refer you to DTI. I would like to request parting words from our speaker, the three ladies here, and the two gentlemen. Or we would like to start off with Ma'am Long Pineda. Miss Pineda, please.
Okay, just some word of advice to our fellow, entrepreneurs, businessmen, finance people coming from Malaysia. Wherever it is that you go, it really makes sense to really study the market. Get a handle of what the market is like, what the market requires. Then it's going to be much easier for you to make your mark in the space. You really need to understand the market. So I wish you luck, and I hope to see more Malaysian companies in the Philippines. Thank you.
Tess.
Again, good afternoon or good morning in the another part. For the DTI and specifically for the Export Marketing Bureau, we would like to really inform our Malaysian friends here, our future or would be partners in this business, to really come and be engaged with the Philippine exporters, Philippine businesses. You can I can assure you of the DTI support by all means, as long as it is within our mandate. But we assure you the best that we can provide, especially in terms of really working on the challenges to really have a more comfortable business environment to our Malaysian counterparts. Thank you. Thank you for joining us here.
Thank you. Ms. Shahida, any parting words to our viewers and the partners here?
Thank you again. Thank you to MCCI for inviting MDEC to be in this session. For the Malaysian companies who like to get connected, you can also get connected and also get MDEC to assist and facilitate the process should there are any companies in the Philippines which you are interested to get in touch with. You can either write to me or write to my teammate Ryan or even Rofizal. Right. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Eric, any parting words?
Okay, this is for MDEC. I just want to say thank you, Nino, for as the head of MDEC's representative in the Philippines for organizing this event. And from our fellow MDEC friends, whom I've not met for a long time, Mr. Gopi, Rofizal, Ryan, if you're all in here, stay safe. Thank you. All right, and let's look forward to more activities in the future.
Thank you very much, Eric. Mr. Howe, our president, any parting words to our partners here?
All right. Thank you for everyone for the attendees attendance today. I just want to like to say that Philippines is a very promising market. I hope everyone especially the Malaysian company, we can cater our strength together to have a good presence in the Philippines, and we have a good partners and people and a connection in the Philippines. So look forward to connect us more often in the futures. Thank you.
Okay. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we will be officially ending the session. However, may I request everyone to turn on your camera so we can see you. We will be having our group picture. All right, admin, please put everyone in gallery. So please remove the spotlight. So we want to have everyone, even the attendees, to be in the stage. Please advise if everyone is here? And who's going to take our picture? All right, so hi there. Ma'am Mary Ann, please turn on your camera. All right, so let us know. Okay, so do we hear cheese? Okay, admin, kindly take our pictures.
1, 2, 3. Okay. Another one.
Yeah, another one for the next set.
2, 3. Okay.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your very interactive, very active audience. So with that, thank you very much. Mabuhay. Mabuhay tayong lahat. Salamat
Thank
po.
you, Miss Tess.
Thank you. Thank you, MDEC. Thank you, MCCI. Is that correct? Thank you.
Thank you
Pleasure
all.
to be here and joining you. Just let us know how we may help you in DTI.
Both of
We
you
will take
hear
you up
from
on
me
that.
soon. Definitely.
We will take you up on that. Thank you, Mr. Howe.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Leave
God
for
bless.
another sectoral presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. God bless everyone. Stay safe and healthy. God bless.
Ma'am Christy.
Bye.
Ma'am
Yes,
Christy,
sir.
thank you.
No problem.
Thank you
Bye,
for
everyone.
your President Howe, thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
your help. And to everyone, thank you very much. Eric,
very
thank
much.
you. Okay,
Thank you
ma'am.
for the team.
Okay.
Really appreciate very very meaningful forums today.
And we have a very participative audience. Wow, we have a great audience. So we're glad that we did it. Oh, I'm so sorry I failed to acknowledge Irvin of Madrid. I saw him just now. Sorry about that, Irvin.
Sir Irvin.
Sir Irvin, I'm so sorry you're there.
Thank you, sir, for
Thank you
joining.
very much for the support. For your support. Thank you, everyone. God bless. Stay safe and healthy. God bless. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations, Nino.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.